So I probably should have waited a day or two to talk about Orochimaru because we have some other SH Figuarts reveals here, just shown off at the Tamashii Nations World Tour event. This next stop was in Japan. I was asleep during this news, and I'm still trying to wake up a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But this news has been around for a couple hours now, so some of you probably know it by now. But there's some really cool stuff. Maybe not as much as last month, but still really sick stuff. As you can see, a brand new Goku right here, updated 3.0 Goku. This is the legendary Super Saiyan version of Super Saiyan Goku, of course. Releasing this November. Pre-orders are opening June 1st, so a week from now, and the price in yen is going to be 7,150, which is pretty steep, but this is all new tooling going on here. This is a really, really sick look figure. I'm really digging that. All new sculpting going on, especially what we have in the pants. The beefiness of this figure, man, that is really sick. It's a very muscular looking figure, and he was pretty buff when he was fighting Frieza. So, yeah, I could see why they decided to make it a lot more beefy than, say, maybe the Saiyan Raised on Earth version. And you've seen him for a while now in this pose with the more grinning face. Here's what we have with him slightly floating in the air. This is more of a more grit teeth face, more of an angrier face. I really dig the hair sculpt, and the paint in the hair is really nice too. I wish we have a little bit more metallic colors with the Super Saiyan hairs now. Kind of like what we had with the re-released Super Saiyan Vegeta, as well as, I believe, the World Tour exclusive Warrior Awakening Goku also has hair like that. I'm fine with also how it looks here, where it looks a little bit more matte. The paint on here looks really great. If you see the rips of the pants once again, they look really nice, and yeah, there will be other images to show this, but the way that the hip joints are done is kind of similar to the original Warrior Awakening Goku. And also kind of like Trunks recently, where they have this plastic piece, sculpted for the thighs going over the actual hip joint. Part of me wishes it was just, not engineered that way, and because sometimes that overlap looks a little weird. I wish it was more like just a straight cut for the thighs, and then you see the hip joint, and it all just blends together better. But it's really not that bad, at least on here. It was a little bit irksome, for me at least, with Trunks, but it wasn't like a deal breaker or anything. More the QC, which it's neither here or there, but it's still looking really nice. In the chest, I think the butterfly joints might look a little small. I know that's kind of weird to say, but they don't really flesh together with the rest of the chest super well. But it's really not that big of a deal to me. Next is this image right here. You can see, it's kind of hard to see, but this looks like a separate, front hair piece where the hair pushes back more. I'm really digging that. The screaming face is also really good. You get to see just how it looks standing more. And you kind of see a little bit better of how those hip joints look the way I was talking about. Again, that's just something that caught my eye. It's not necessarily a complaint with me right now. But the rest of this does look nice. Lots of great smaller details of like rips and tears and particular stretching in parts of the, bottom part of the outfit, like, in the boots as well as the legs. I can't tell if there's going to be shading of orange, like a lighter yellowish orange in some of the pants. The lighting might be playing tricks on me. But this is really really nice looking, man. And then the cuffs, the way that those are ripped for around his arms, all that looks really nice as well. Okay, so it will come with the Kamehameha effect, which is really sick. I believe this is the same one that we've had since, I want to say 2014, actually, with that for one of those early Gokus, as well as the Ultra Instinct version comes with one. And I don't mind how it's been done over the years. I think that they changed it up for the Super Saiyan 4 version. But it's really, it's fine, I've always liked it. I think it still looks really good. It has, the beam parts coming out. You should be able to slot in based on the corresponding hole. So that's fine with me. Easier to package that way, and that way they could pop out on their own if you need to store it too. So that's a good thing. And then there's probably going to be a peg in one of those hands, and then you just stick the peg into the hole of the Kamehameha effect. So there you go. That's a lot of you are familiar with that by now. This one here is such a really nice looking pose right here. You can see some of the open hands with that, and that screaming face too, as well as that front piece of the hair. You know, it's kind of covering the face a little too much, but that's what made me think that there was, you know, it's pretty obvious that there is a separate front hair piece, so that way that, you know, strand does not get in the face, and it looks like he's, you know, the hair's being pushed back. So, you know, digging that. There's not much else I can really talk about at this point. You get to kind of see how those hip joints articulate compared to, like, you know, the plastic that I was talking about where it covers the hip joint. You kind of see that it all does blend together a bit. I think it still would have been fine if they, like, figure out a way to make the just all make it flow together without having pieces go over parts, you know what I mean? But it's really not that big of a complaint. It was just something I wanted to mention. We also have second to last image I want to show off here of him kicking in the air. Hopefully he can actually do this because, you know, there's images of the re-released Super Saiyan Vegeta where he's kicking in the air. Some people can't do that pose. Some people can. So, you know, I guess it just depend on how you mess around with it. And if you mess around with this figure enough, hopefully you get him into a pose like this. Of course, you're probably going to need to balance him too. I don't see that toe hinge really supporting too much of this really beefy figure. So, yeah, just showing off the range of motion for this. Looking really good. Last but not least for this Goku, we do have a standing image here. It looks nice, you know. I like how all the beefiness looks. I think there might be, I could be wrong, it might be lighting again, but it looks like some parts of the creases of the muscles might have shading, but again, it could be the lighting. But that was more of a stern face that you see here. Everything on this figure, I think, looks really fantastic. One thing I want to mention, I know a lot of people are probably sick of seeing Goku's in a Dragon Ball line. I get it, but he is the main character. That's kind of like releasing a Marvel Legends Spider-Man wave without a character that at least looks like Spider-Man. So, you know, he's a moneymaker for this line. He's the main character. He's one of, like, the most prominent anime characters of all time. And they're going to make Goku's. Now, I know also we have some other characters that we need, like Kid Buu and all that. And then there's other characters that they put behind Premium Bandai, so a bunch of international collectors can't pick that up, which is really stupid. But it's still a really nice figure regardless, at least to me. Maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea. You don't have to purchase it. Some people will. Some people are just sick of Goku's, and I totally understand that. But me personally, really love what we see here. Next up, they did finally put out some pre-order images, and I think the pre-order is going up in a couple hours as of me recording this. For Spider-Man 2099 for the Across the Spider-Verse line, I am not dedicated to this line yet. I have canceled my pre-orders for Miles and Gwen just because, you know, the images have been released since the Tamashii Nations World Tour event. Reviews, I should say, have been released since World Tour event of those exclusive versions. People reviewing those. That was like last month, and me personally, the way that those came out, I'm not really digging it. This one here does not look bad. You would see in this image of him standing for a while. Just want to go over the information that this will be released in November as well. It's actually dropping 4 p.m. Japan time, which would be like 3 or 4 a.m. Eastern time in the United States. So that's pretty early for us. This, oh god, the price. 13,200 yen. Yeah, that's a lot. It's very steep. I have a feeling Sony has a role to play in that. So yeah, that's a lot. It's compared to this and Orochimaru and that Goku, I'm gonna have to prioritize some things over the other. But you know, this image of him standing here, I don't think looks too bad. Here's a look at the back, as you can see here, and you get that hard plastic cape. Oh boy, oh boy. Hard plastic capes are not amazing in this line, and I think they need to dedicate more to soft goods, even though this would probably be even more expensive. But hey, you can also find sellers on eBay that are probably going to do something similar. So there's that. There is some details, like some rips as well as some decals, or not really decals, but just detailing within the cape here. Not looking too bad. You get to see some of the back leg details too. This is a pretty intricately detailed figure, so I understand why there's probably a lot of sculpting going on and why the price could be jacked up. Also, it's probably just the Spider-Man and Sony thing going on there, where they probably just want more. So here is another image of him with these effects pieces right here. These things stick out pretty well. They go around the wrist, as you can see, looking really good. You pose around a little bit, and it is a pretty beefy figure as well too. Now, with this particular image, I'm not really digging when Spider-Man characters have that weird, like, crotch piece going on, where it's just, like, it's going to be, like, a weird floating disc, kind of, and they just really need to, like, streamline it more and just make it, like, a hip joint that just looks natural, kind of like how, I'm trying to think of the most recent figure I got. It's like Chainsaw Man. That one has just, like, a normal hip joint, so I think that they could probably do that instead of whatever's going on here, but it doesn't look... It's not a god-awful figure, even though I just said that. Here is an image of him more of a running crouched pose. You get to see the claw hands, at least the right claw hand there. And you also get to see better... it's a better idea of the detailing in, like, the shoulders and, like, the arms, even the face, too, a little bit of the chest as well. One thing that caught my eye that's a little distracting is how that left shoulder ball joint is a little bit exposed. It's not really a ball joint. It's got the hinge in there, of course. But, yeah, I mean, you moving around a little bit, and you can cover that. But, if some poses is inevitable, it's going to look like that. But the butterfly joints on this one look really, really good compared to the... and again, I don't hate it, but compared to the Goku I just showed, these look like they flow just way more naturally with the chest here. And you get to see some detailing on, like, the legs again as well. This one image here shows off him using his little bracelet, the little cuff right there. Not really a bracelet, but that is really nicely done. And one thing, let me read the information again. One thing that this is going to come with is an optional accessory bracelet. So it is a bracelet. What the heck am I talking about? For Gwen, actually. So I don't know if they really showed it off. If this bracelet is it going to come with an extra bracelet, or is this bracelet for Miguel going to work with Gwen as well? I don't know. But as you can see, it's showing how the bracelet looks on the figure, and you just probably pop the hand off and pop it in like so. Not bad looking. It's a really nice looking figure, don't get me wrong. Just $130, $120, I don't know. We do also have a neck piece and a head sculpt for Miguel there, which actually looks really good. It looks like it came out of the movie. I guess this might be the only expression we get. I think maybe a more stern expression would have been fine, because I feel like that once this comes out, this just one face here where, like, the lip is a little bit, like, lifted. Might look a little goofy, but it doesn't look bad. I don't really mind it. It's a pretty nice looking head sculpt. Overall, there's some really good stuff going on here. And the last image I want to show him, kind of like flying and crouching in the air. Not bad looking. I really don't think it's a bad looking figure. It's just it's not really a priority right now, at least for me. I do feel like those, like, pieces sticking out of the arms might be a little much. Like, I don't know, if this falls over, then those might potentially break. I don't know if those are going to be more of a softer plastic or not. We'll have to wait and see. But not a bad looking figure. A couple of really quick things I do want to talk about. This one here, they really only have this one image, so there's not much to talk about right now. But, probably by next month when the movie is released, we'll probably know more. But new Indiana Jones here. Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is really sick looking to see an SH Figuarts Indiana Jones. And we also have the Hasbro 6-inch one. Years ago we had the Figma one. I was never able to get that, but this does not look bad. Some things might look a little weird. I think the knees look a little blocky in some areas. I think maybe that head sculpt might look a little off, but it's still nice looking. We just don't have that much information about it right now. We also have this Kamen Rider figure. I don't know the series at all. I just want to talk about it really quick because they were showing it off. The pre-order is actually open now for Takeshi Hongo here. This has a fabric scarf as well as digital face printing for the likeness of the actor. So I wanted to mention that really quick. And I'll leave links down in the description below of all of my sources. You can check out this particular image here a little bit more. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comments below what you were most excited about from this video. And I'll see you guys later.